Hey man, how's the video going? You good, bro?
Dude, I mean, I've been having a hard time. I mean, they've been asking me to create public domain Ninja Turtles. The concept of public domain Ninja Turtles doesn't even exist yet. I don't even know how to get this concept down. It's so crazy. They're more modern in a strange. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, man. This is by far one of the hardest suggestions I think I ever had to deal with.
Okay, yeah, I understand. The public domain Ninja Turtles is a bit of a concept and stuff. I mean, aren't there like any creatures in myths or legends that can kind of like, allude to you kind of using them to make your own Ninja Turtles or something?
I mean, sure, you could suggest the idea of maybe the tortoise and the hare, but then does that really count? And then there might be some other turtle-based kind of characters and some other stories or something along the lines of that. And then, I mean, you potentially have the Kappa from Japanese mythology, but then they're not really turtles, they're just strange, weird, demon turtle-like beings. It's just, okay. And then not only that, there's just all of this other kind of...
Okay, dude, calm down. Okay, I get it. It's really hard. I know you probably don't want to use a few I don't know, man. All right, just cool it. Last I checked, I think you drew a lot of turtles or turtle-based characters in your sketchbooks. How about you just look through those and maybe you might find something that can help you out in the long run, okay? Look, I'm gonna get dinner ready, all right? Just take it easy and stuff like that, all right? Just keep it easy.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'll do that. Thank you. Even worse cringe. Oh. Okay. I think I found what I need. Okay. We got something now.
I mean, they ain't ninjas, but they are a group of turtles.
That's right. I somehow managed to find characters for this video in particular, because you guys have been very adamant on this. So look, you guys heard enough of me talking, so how about we get drawing ultra value Ninja Turtles? Let's go! Some of you are questioning, what the heck am I talking about ultra value? Don't you mean public domain? No, these characters actually aren't from the public domain. These are actually original, if it wasn't obvious enough. So if you couldn't tell from this side over here, this is actually the original, drawing that I have of the first character that I'm, drawing over here, which is the Samurai Turtle. This is actually one of the very first few characters that I actually drew like on my own accord. I really love the way this character kind of came out, again, as a kid, but seeing the revamp on this side was freaking insane. Actually sticking with the color palette from this sketchbook and obviously from the photo itself is pretty freaking insane. And the overall character design process was actually a lot of fun. And I guess what I liked about it was that I still made it look like that they were proper turtles and not too human-like in appearance, which I think is like one of the downsides of the Ninja Turtles itself. But look, that's semantics, that's here and there, a little bit everywhere, but that's aside the point. I thoroughly have enjoyed this entire creation process when it came down to the Samurai Turtle. And to think, this is just 1 out of 5 different turtle-based characters that I have for the rest of this video. So, hope you enjoy my first character for the entirety of this, pseudo Ninja Turtles. This is, well, the Samurai Turtle. And up next is the Gunslinger Turtle. And I guess one of my favorite aspects when it came down to really designing all these other characters is that they didn't really stick with a singular motif, but actually having different ones. So the first one was a samurai, and I guess the polar opposite of that would be, well, a gunslinger, a cowboy and such. So obviously on this side you can see how this design really looks overall. He just wore a cowboy hat and some like a belt essentially. And I feel like I really could have gone more, and that's exactly what I did on this side, giving him a combination of like the Lone Ranger, and some other cowboy stuff. Not only that, one of my favorite parts when it came down to actually drawing this character was the preset revolver that I drew for his hand. Because, when designing, guns and stuff like that, especially when you're doing like digital stuff, you want to try to create as many presets. So shout out to my good friend Mr. Fish, who actually taught me about like preset brushes when it came down to weapons and logos and buildings and all that other kind of fun stuff. but I overall just love the way this came out. I love the overall like energy that you can kind of see from this character. I mean, just like look at it. This is by far, a really fun design overall. So this is the Gunslinger Turtle. And now we have, I guess you would say, like the plain Jane leader of this entire little group here, originally called Adventure Turtle, because I guess whenever I saw like an adventurer, kind of like Indiana Jones or some character similar to him, they have, like a scarf or something along the lines of that. So there really wasn't much going on in terms of his design or something like that, which was kind of weird. So instead, I'm going to call this one Action Turtle. Yes, I know I'm not really giving them any names because I never really came up with names for these characters. They were just simply just given a bit of a gimmick and stuff like that. So for Action Turtle over here, I decided to put him in a really cool defensive kind of fighting like pose and stuff like that, still keeping the scarf as like a key aspect, and I guess it really helps give him some kind of character. And not only that, just kind of adding on some belt, wristbands and stuff like that. And this was a character that really also kind of filled up the entirety of the canvas. But I love the way that this came out. And again, he would be like the generic plain Jane leader of this group of super insane whacked out other turtles. So this is the Action Turtle. What do you guys think? Okay, and this one was actually a lot of fun to kind of put together, and the inspiration for this one, obviously, if you can kind of see from this side, this is obviously, based off of, I think, what was it, Venus or something along the lines of that? Venus or Mona Lisa or something like that? I totally don't remember. It was based off of that one really weird live-action Ninja Turtles show where they had like a fifth member, which was actually like their sister, and she wore like this headband with like braids and stuff like that. So I kind of like that idea, and I wanted to play a little bit more into it, which I guess this one would be the only, I guess you could say, Ninja Turtle out of the entirety of the group. And, I decided to actually give her, like this cool spear, giving her this cool little balancing act. And honestly, I just love the way that this entire piece just kind of came together. So I guess this would be the only Ninja Turtle of the group. So what do you guys think? Now, I saved the best for last, and that is the Tortuga Tank, aka Turtle Tank or Tech Turtle, whatever you want to call it. This one is obviously like the Donatello of the group, high tech, creating all the cool gadgets and stuff like that, and specifically adding it onto him. Now, I know that I could have done something a little bit different and turning them into different turtle species, kind of like how Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did it, but I just decided to kind of keep it simple and plain, and plus I drew them all in the span of one day, so I mean, I'm kind of mildly impressed on that alone, basically. But one of my favorite aspects of this, I guess, is just really kind of diving in a little bit more with some of the tech stuff and making him look nice and sleek. And again, these characters are no bigger than the size of my thumb in this sketchbook, so getting to really like go into detail and to really kind of showing off more of their character in different posing, it was a lot of fun to kind of put together. But outside of that, this is the Tortuga Tank. What do you guys think? Okay, sorry, that was a lot of yapping. Anyways, if you've been enjoying this video so far and you've been loving the drawings, you might as well go down below and hit the like button. Heck, while you're down there, you might as well comment the word Turtle Power or Turtle or something turtle related in the comments down below to let me know that you made it this far into the video. And heck, if you've thoroughly been enjoying everything that you've been watching so far and you want to see more content like this, you might as well hit the subscribe button so that way you guys can get up to date on any type of content that I make and seeing whether I post out Monday, Friday, a little here, a little there, a little bit everywhere. Who knows? I'm really trying. It's a lot. So anyways, outside of that, I think you guys heard enough of me talking in this midway point. So how about we get drawing on this turtle-tastic cover? So originally I was going to call this the Super Turtle Warrior Squad or something along the lines of that. and it really just didn't sit right with me. So I decided to actually create a newer title for this concept, and I wanted to really play up on the like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like down to following every syllable of each word. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Basically, there's always syllables of 2, and I think I found a way better title for it, and that title being the Super Action Fighting Turtles. I think it fits very well. It kind of fits the similar kind of vibe of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I decided to just kind of keep it fun in general like that, and well, that's more or less the title. And when putting the entire, cover together, I basically took all the images that I've drawn of each character and just kind of smacked it into place to see if it worked well, and honestly, it really did. This is by far one of the more shorter, cover art pieces that I've done thus far, because I really didn't have to go like super above and beyond, which I think is just a lot more convenient too. And honestly, it still produced an amazing result in the form of the cover that you're looking at now. What do you guys think? Let me know. And there you go. I mean, this is just straight up a beautiful knockoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I'm aware that these characters are not from the public domain, and I kid you not, I've been doing as much research as I possibly could. And I know there's probably a lot of you guys that are going to correct me in the comments down below, telling me that I could have used XYZ. I genuinely have thought about like what kind of characters or what kind of creatures I could have used. But honestly, the fact that I was able to find, some characters from memory lane in this little sketchbook really was kind of a bit of a saving grace for me. So thank you to my younger self for drawing some turtle characters. I did not expect that it would help me for creating a YouTube video. But other than that, making this entire cover actually reminded me of how I made my first comic book, because I actually did something similar to this, where I basically just drew every character individually and just kind of smacked it together to see how well it worked. And honestly, I mean, look at the results. You really can't hate it, and I just love it. So look, I'm going to keep rambling on and talk about how much I love this cover and all that kind of fun stuff. So I think it's good for me to more or less just kind of end it here. So to my fellow weirdos out there, stay awesome, stay weird, and keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. And never forget, my fellow nieces and nephews, to stay ultra.
Hey man, see that you kind of got the video all done and stuff. I was wondering, how did it turn out?
Honestly, dude, that was a freaking saving grace. Thank you so much for at least telling me to check through my sketchbooks, because I actually managed to find something. So it really did help out a lot. Like, thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be of help. And speaking of helping you out, you're really gonna go through with, well, that idea that you've been wanting to do for a while? Like, you sure you really want to do it?
Look, it's what got me here to begin with. And honestly, I've been really kind of yearning back to really just wanting to make comic books again. So yeah, of course I want to do it. I want to get back into making my first book again, revamping it, remaking it,
Well, if making comic books is really your desire, then gotta help you all the way through. Anyways, dinner's ready. I'm starving.
All right, meet up with you in just a sec. I just gotta finish up a few things.
Well then, if there's any comic I'm gonna revamp in any way, shape, or form, it might as well be the one that got me started to begin with.